If you take a look at just about any Eastern MMORPG, you'll find they have a lot of systems, and Blue Protocol Star Residence is no exception, which is why I'm here to explain the ins and outs to the gearing system so you'll be ready to hit the ground running. To start, how do you even get gear? Well, there's actually a few different ways. The first way is buying it using a resource called alloy shards that you can get from dismantling gold tier gear or spending your honor coins in the honor coin shop on a weekly limit of 60 shards. After that, you can also receive gear by participating in daily social events. These can range from designated dance breaks to boss hunt trains, and you have a chance at receiving gold tier gear on your first participation in an event each day. The next way is by completing your daily unstable space dungeon runs. These are effectively a watered-down boss fight from one of the available dungeons that you can run twice a day. These runs will reward you with a piece of gear with a random main stat and a lower perfection cap. If you're wondering what the perfection cap is, we'll get to it when we talk about gear reforging, but for now, just know you're gonna want that to be as high as possible. Lastly, the most common way you'll be getting gear is by running normal and hard mode Chaotic Realm dungeons. The normal mode dungeons will reward you with purple item level 40 gear, the hard mode will reward you with a chance of item level 40 gold gear, and those gold gear pieces will be guaranteed within 5 hard mode runs. Gear received in this way will have a higher perfection cap and will also be guaranteed to have the main stat of the class you're running in order to help you farm for your loadout. And any gold gear you obtain has the chance to drop with powerful purple rare lines like percent increases to physical or magic damage. These purple stat lines are specific to different gear types, with helmets, armor, gloves, and boots being able to roll bonus main stat percent, elemental resistance, and max HP, while weapons and accessories are able to roll melee or range damage percent versus bosses, attack or cast speed percent, attack or magic attack percent, healing intensity or shield strength percent, and resilience break efficiency. Now, there's a couple of last things to keep in mind for getting gear. Each dungeon specializes in 2 gear pieces. For instance, if you want gloves and earrings, you'll want to run the Goblin Nest dungeon. Every hard mode dungeon also has a small chance at dropping a gold tier weapon, with the last dungeon, Dark Mist Fortress, providing the highest chance at getting that gold tier weapon. Then, if for some reason you're struggling to get a piece of gold gear because the Tina's Realm hot potato keeps killing you, you can technically craft them through life skills. However, you'd need to be around level 12 in the respective life skill in order to craft any gold gear, so this option is really only viable early on for people rushing just one life skill. And either way, it'd probably be more advised to focus on life skills pertaining to upgrade systems like smelting or gemology. Speaking of upgrade systems, now that we have the gear, let's talk about how to upgrade it. All gear upgrades take place in this crafting hub, which you'll have access to pretty early on in order to introduce the first system, Reforging. Gear Reforging is what you'll be using to directly enhance gear stats, and it utilizes the resource Reforging Stones, with gear pieces requiring 2 to 4 Reforging Stones per tap, depending on the type of gear being upgraded. You can get these Reforging Stones through the Honor Coin shop with a weekly limit of 30, or as rewards from the Chaotic Realm dungeon runs, which also has a weekly cap. As you continue to reforge, the equipment stats will increase, the perfection level will rise, and the bottom substat will continuously reroll. You'll be able to keep upgrading your gear stats in this way until you reach that gear's perfection cap. Any reforging after that point will just be to re-roll that bottom substat into something you want. Also, as I've mentioned before, you can receive a refund on the reforging stones you've spent by dismantling a gear piece. However, it's also important to note that any stones spent after the perfection cap was reached won't be refunded. After a few days, you'll unlock the next gear upgrading system, Gear Refining. Gear Refining uses a few different resources in order to upgrade a particular gear slot, which means even if you switch the gear in that slot, the bonuses will remain. In order to refine, your weapon, helmet, and armor will use the mystery metal material. Your gauntlet, boots, earring, and necklace slots will use the radiant stone material, and then your ring, left and right bracelets, and charm will use the fine forged stone material. These resources can be crafted through the smelting life skill or purchased through the guild shop or the auction house. Furthermore, each piece of gear will also require Luno and Starforged crystals, which can be obtained through daily unstable space runs as rewards from elite mob and field bosses, or through the Honor Coin shop, of which you can buy 10 a week. Now, as the refinement level increases, not only does the cost and resources increase, but refinement levels will have a chance to fail when attempting to upgrade past refinement level 5. While failing a level up won't decrease your gear's level or destroy it, it will still consume your resources while raising the success rate of your next attempt. That being said, you can also utilize Bury Mech Shards and Moss Mech Shards in order to increase the success rate without failing the refinement. The Bury Mech Shards can add an additional 5% to the success rate, while the Moss Mech Shards add 3% to the success rate. However, you can only use a maximum of 5 Bury shards per refinement, so it'd be best to save your moss ones for when that success rate gets to 75% or below. Now, to obtain Bury mech shards, you can actually craft them with the smelting life skill, and then both Bury and moss mech shards can be obtained through the guild dungeon runs, elite and field boss drops, daily unstable space runs, the daily secret shop, and the auction house. Then, not last and not least, you unlock the gem embedding system, which involves mining resources through the gemology life skill and then crafting the gems themselves through the gem crafting life skill. Alternatively, you can also purchase these gems from the auction house, with the purpose being to socket them into your gear. These gems come in a variety of colors that represent the substats that they provide. Emerald gems for mastery, diamond gems for luck, ruby gems for crit, and sapphire gems for haste. Then, starting at level 2, gems can also have a specific shape that relates to the main stats they also provide. Triangle cut gems for strength, square cut gems for stamina, pear cut gems for intelligence, and fancy cut gems for agility. Since we're looking at like 36 different combinations of gem color and shape, if you want an idea of what combination you'll want for each class specialization, the TLDR is you should embed gems to help augment whichever substats you may be lacking in for your class. However, if you're looking for something a bit more specific, both Freedwin? I've actually never said this out loud before. Both Pridewin and Maxwell have class-specific guides you can go through, so I'll have a link to both sites down in the description. So, I know that was a lot, but once you get your hands on the systems, they're actually pretty straightforward. Now, to celebrate the official global launch and also celebrate almost 1,000 subs, which is honestly mind-blowing to me, thank you guys so much, seriously. I'm happy to announce that I'm hard launching my own Discord server. My hope is that it'll be a place for us all to hang out, talk about all things video games, and overall just be a positive space. So, if that interests you at all, the link to that will also be down in the description. And that about wraps it up for today's video. Thanks again so much for watching. Subscribe to keep up with the next video. Let me know in the comments what games you've been playing waiting for the official launch. And most importantly, have a blessed day.